Hello, everybody. We are back. We have been
Yes.
in action for 2 episodes and we will catch up.
Oh yeah, we gonna catch up. Major.
But right now, we are in mourning. I'm Ashley,
And I'm Athena
and we are here coming to you after the seventh day.
of Greenleaf.
So, we both had a lot of stuff going on between
Yeah, it's been crazy.
moving and transporting and just school getting ready to come back. It's just been crazy.
Yes.
And we apologize for that because we know we have a few viewers. Um, so just to kind of catch up, what have we missed in a nutshell, Athena?
Well, how far do we want to go back? Do we just want to focus on this episode?
We
Or
just
do
want to
you
kind of do a little, like a quick highlight of the last.
Okay, so the last two episodes were day 5 and day 6. And so on which were basically the 5th day and the 6th day. And basically, we have found out a lot of information. We were
Oh, Jesus.
finally getting behind this whole Bob Whitmore thing. We were finally figuring out, what was going on with Bob, Lady
Phil's
May.
mom.
Right. Found out about Phil's mom. We found out about the caretaker. We found out about Daryl James. Rochelle came back and things got crazy. And then Lady May decides that she wants to come clean. Then we got, we have a lot of, we have Carissa and Jacob
Yeah, they're
really kind of,
divorcing.
right, really coming to the realization that, hey, we're really not meant for each other. We need to part ways. And then moving forward, we get Zora trying to move forward through her parents' divorce. We also get Sophia, who's, trying to get herself back together. Everyone's trying to get on the mend. AJ's trying to
From
get on.
the boob scandal.
Yeah, the boob scandal. AJ is, getting to know the family more. So we have a lot of uh healing kind of happening in these last couple of episodes. There were revelations
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of healing. So it was just and then of course more questions. But now that we're here in this 7th episode, I ain't got no more questions now. I feel like they really going to do what they said they was going to do. They're really going to answer everything. And all I can say is thank you, Craig Wright, for just giving us this wonderful show and for this wonderful story.
I want to say that before we started, me and Athena said we were gonna keep our reactions true. So we didn't go into anything. We jumped on. We had our initial.
Whoo, girl, like
We were like, okay, let's press record. And I don't even want to go in chronological order. I just want to say, even though I have predicted Bishop's death
I'm
here,
so mad at you.
2 episodes, and I made sure that I chronicled that on here for everybody to know. I just want to say it did not take the shock factor away.
It didn't.
It did not make it any less painful. The pain, like I know this is a fictional story, y'all. I get it, but just like how everybody love the stories, General Hospitals and One Life to Live, and
All my children,
all my
Young and the Restless.
this
Yes,
right here.
this hurt. I'm not even gonna
I was
lie.
the pain in Lady May's eyes.
She was not ready for this. I
She
mean,
said, "Lord, not now."
why are you doing this? Why now? And she just
She needs Bishop.
she just did what any loving wife would do. I'm
And
calling 911, and
I have
she
goosebumps.
held him in her arms and she said, "Baby, look at me. Just look at me. I need you."
And he said, "I."
He said, "I do." And of course, I enjoyed seeing him on that morning, waking her up to her first engagement ring. And I thought that was beautiful. And yes, I will admit she was making it hard for him, but she told him from the beginning in season 4 that he was going to have to sweep her off her feet. And he did that. And he did that in my favorite line is, of course, when he says, well, how am I supposed to do that? You want flowers and a ring? And she said, James, there are ways. And he did all of that. We got to see
He had
him.
all the ways.
He had all the ways. And it wasn't even
Why?
right. He did that. He did that. He did all the ways. I mean, the brother came correct. He
You
came
know
correct.
what? You know what though? Let me tell you how good God is. And I know again, this is in the realm of the show, but God is so good.
Right.
Our Bishop
Right.
ask for repentance.
Right.
Allow Bishop to ask for the church's mercy on his family.
Right.
He vindicated Daryl's family.
Right.
There was even though that was his exodus, right?
Right.
It was so powerful. And he got an opportunity that a lot of people do not.
Right.
He was able to right his wrongs.
He was able to get it right.
He was able to mend a broken church because, we always hear about church hurt and people.
Oh, yeah.
We hear about that all the time, but very seldom do you get to see a pastor
right
so transparent. And even though his hand was kind of forced, he didn't have to do that,
You're absolutely right. And I want to focus on that for a moment. It's the Bishop was trying so hard when he had that heart attack the first time in the pulpit and was given that new day with his family. His focus was on, I have got to get as right as I can with God and get as right as I can with my wife and with my family. And he was really taking this inward look at himself and really trying to get back to where he once was before, like he said, he just kind of got caught up,
we all do. We all can.
Right.
It's so easy.
Right. And that is the beauty of it all. The beauty of it all is what we saw was a man who's a pastor, who's a shepherd, who with all good intentions wants to do what God has called him to do. And in the midst of this thing called life, we make these choices. And starting a fire, Mac, that's going to get us insurance money, but that sounds straight crazy. But hey, Bishop was like, I wasn't on board with it. I didn't think, I kind of had a feeling
I allowed it.
Right, I allowed it. And by the way, I had no idea Daryl James was in the building. And then all of this comes flooding back. And for him to say that he had a feeling that the two things were linked, but it was in a mist. He just didn't know how. And
that's easy to do.
Right. He didn't know how. He didn't question it, but he said, I should have asked some more questions, but I didn't because I got fat. I got happy. I got all of this stuff. I got this all these blessings were rolling in, and I just, just kept moving forward and just didn't think of what was happening until it came back in. When we think about money, when we think about when we see people in position and then even us as Black people, when we see our Black pastor rolling up in his Jaguar, rolling up in his Lexus with his big church, you start questioning things. I know I do. But when the man of God, and sometimes it doesn't matter, when the man of God has his fall from grace, we tend to forget that he's a man.
Mm-hmm.
We forget that he has a family. We forget that he has his things. And not that we're condoning his behavior, but what we got to understand is we all fall, we all make mistakes, but we can get things right. And for the bishop to be so transparent, because there are some pastors who be out there, hey, I'm not judging nobody. They out there doing dirt and they don't never get up in front of their church and repent of their dirt. They want to keep moving on. They might lose some members, but they ain't gonna dare say that they messed up. There are some people who don't do that, but the fact that he went to heal his church, to heal his family, and to at the same time heal himself,
it makes me love Bishop more.
It makes me love
Always
him
been his
more. And
biggest
I've
fan.
always loved Bishop because Bishop has always been so prophetic. He's
He's so
always been
true.
so true, so real.
Oh
And I
God.
am so devastated because I really wanted my wedding on Flag Day. I really wanted my wedding, and I just had a feeling.
No, Athena. Go ahead and tell them what you told me.
I said that Bishop wasn't going to die. I said, Bishop is not going to die. I want to get my wedding on Flag Day.
And what did you say this evening to me?
That I was mad at you because
For
you predicted that Bishop was going to die.
and I put it into the atmosphere.
And that you spoke
No.
this thing into existence. Because who is May without Bishop?
But see, hold on. May is strong. May has always been Bishop's driving force.
Of course.
And I'm gonna tell you this. May has always been her own person without Bishop.
Exactly.
You said something earlier, and I made a connection. When you said that, when you said Bishop said he should have known and he was beating himself up.
Right.
Immediately, I made a direct correlation for when Lady May said, did I know? Should I have known?
Right. Should I have known that what was going on with Faith? Did I not ask enough questions?
Will not die.
He dead. Hey, he dead. Hey, he dead today. Mac dead today. Mac is finally dead today. And if Mac pops up in the Dad Blasted spinoff, I'm gonna be hot.
You know what? I'm glad. This is like very blasphemous in the Greenleaf world, but I'm kind of glad that this show is going to end because I would not want Greenleaf without Big.
Oh my gosh, exactly. Because without him, who are they? Who are they without their nucleus?
I think that they are.
He's such a cornerstone in such a other family.
He has put so much into them. I think that they will still be able to on and kind of like feel off of what he's instilled, but
it's not the same.
It's not as poetic.
It's not the same. Like I said, if we ending it is a good thing. We ended it next week because hey, if the show was not ending, I would stop watching because I'd be mad that Bishop is gone.
I can't take no more. And then, can we just applaud Keith David's acting skills tonight? Because I was like, wait a minute, brother.
like I was really.
He was a straight stroke victim tonight.
I was like, she was the dude. I was like, oh my God, Bishop is not responding. God, please don't tell me he is sitting up here dead right now. And for him to not talk, and May's doing everything, and she is trying to be cool, and she know her man is gone. She know we gone.
I'm going to definitely have to rewatch the episode tomorrow.
I am devastated.
And cry. Let's just take a break.
It's a good thing that I'm not at my house with my DVR because I swear to you, I'd be rewatching it again. Like I'm at my in-laws' house, so I'm just like, girl, I'm done. I'm fit to be tired.
Let me tell you how. Let me tell you how dramatic this is. Athena, I was sitting on my couch and the credits were rolling, and I was still like this at the screen.
Dude, the credits were rolling and there was no music. And I was like,
no music, friend. No.
And I'm just like.
But I knew somebody was going to die because whenever I saw all those people dressed in black on one of the like the season trailers. I knew it was him. But let's take a break from being in
We'll get back to Bishop later. Let's get back to where are we going to?
Carissa.
See, I knew that mess was gonna come back and bite us in the behind. I knew it.
Baby, I said I knew I didn't like you.
It was a good thing she was at the park with Winky. Girl.
Girl, we get more Winky than we've ever gotten out of him.
But I know,
Crazy.
but you know what? I'm glad that at least Carissa just told the truth.
She kept it real. She was hurt.
And
he has been truthful the whole time.
Exactly. But let's really keep it honest when we talk about Jacob and Carissa in this idea of us breaking up and divorcing, that they're being more truthful and honest with each other. And that's a beautiful thing that they were still, because she could have lied and said, boy, I didn't know. But she said,
but you know what though, Carissa has never really been a liar. She's always just been,
she's never really been a liar. She's just been kind of like, I'm gonna do whatever I want by any means necessary. She's just been always pushing her own agenda. And let's keep in mind that even when Bishop and May divorced, they were able to be more open and honest with each other, in that sense of that divorce brought them closer together.
You know, I want to say being on this Greenleaf journey has been very interesting, because we have been able to see the progression of Lady May relationship in comparison to Jacob and Carissa's relationship, polar opposite.
Total.
And so when Jacob called and asked Carissa, hey, did you know?
Right.
Jacob had some discernment there, and he knew that Carissa knew about it. I think that, of course, that was put in there for the show for everybody else to kind of get a little clarity.
Right.
Also, just knowing that was the final product for him. That was it for him. That was nail in the coffin. Had it ever had Tasha showed up, you know what, like, it is okay. I am done with you, because not only did you make it difficult for me and my family, but you deceived you compromised.
Right, my family.
Not only my family, but our whole way of being.
Right, our whole life.
Are the people that supported you too. You can say what you want to say about Lady May. Yeah, your mother-in-law can be overbearing. She is all in y'all business, but guess what? She in y'all business because y'all in her what?
House. What she say?
Where
she at?
pocket.
She in that, right, where she at? She in that lair that we pay for? She say she for Black people, but the people she live with?
Oh my gosh, Athena.
Yeah, girl. She like I said, Carissa is all about herself. And even though May May just loves really, really, really hard. Because when May is in, she is in. Period. You know what I'm saying? When she's in, she's in. And that's how she's always been with her family. And she's done everything to protect them. And it took her, she had to let some things go. And I think this has been a journey for all of them in so many ways to kind of get to a place, because I think even like when Bishop said, hey, you get this big church, you want to continue to show people God, and that's the blessing, that's the gift that God is giving you. But then this thing called life gets in the way, because we know that we have to deal with the day-to-day. It's not Sunday every day. We got to deal with the day-to-day.
Oh, you said something.
Yeah, you have to deal with the day-to-day. And so because of that, you know, things happen. And, you know, and I think they have all kind of gone through that, because Sunday is the day that the Greenleafs can go to church and put on their straight face, put on that good face. I'm blessed and highly favored and life is good. But on Monday, they try not to cuss each other out. They try not to fight. They trying to keep it together. They got problems and they got issues. And it's hard, and they have to, and they've been trying so hard to be these people that don't have problems. And that's the thing.
And it's not real.
Right. They were trying to be these people who didn't have problems, and the problems, and if they did have problems, they had little problems.
Well, you know what though? Let me challenge you. Do you feel that they do you feel like they were trying to pretend like they didn't have problems on stage? Or do you think, or do you think that knowing the business that they're in, they didn't have room to share their problems because the people that were there, the hospital, they're healing. You feel what I'm saying?
And I think that's a little bit of, I don't think that they were pretending not to have problems. I think that they were trying to
conceal.
Not really. They were trying to conceal their problems as much as possible from their congregation. Yeah. Yes, I think they were trying to conceal their problems as much as they can from people, keep it within the family. They were trying to solve them as quickly as possible by any means possible, as long as it meant that the deacons weren't going to be in an uproar, you know. And I think that you gotta go ahead, speak on that.
When you said deacons,
yes, Connie, yes, but we gonna get on her later. I
just wanted to put that out.
Yes, I have not forgotten about Connie. Yes, but it's this idea that sometimes, especially, I mean, and in not just Black churches, but I think when you look at the Black church, problems that go on in the Black church, they got those same problems going on in Catholic churches. They're just different.
Girl, they got a lot of stuff going on.
It's just different. And so where you shine a light on this first family and you see the things that they've done, they really haven't done anything different than Joe Blow Smuckatelli, who's trying to keep his family together. I mean, how many Black women, let's listen to this, how many Black women got babies and don't know who their baby daddy is, and that the man who's raising them is not their baby daddy? I'm just saying, that's real. That's real.
It's real life. It's real life.
It's real life. You know, it's how many people we know may have given up that baby for adoption, didn't tell their parents they were pregnant, but you made a decision because at that point in your life, you made what people call a life choice. You know what I'm saying?
That's real life.
That's real life.
Yeah.
That's real life. That's what we're dealing with. When you talk about this Black man being in prison and being a victim of rape and HIV, that's real.
Real life.
That's real life. What these people are experiencing is real life. And the thing that's so beautiful about this show is that these are people who are experiencing real life in such a way and are trying to match, and they're trying to bring their real life and their faith together. It's how can I go through this thing called life and still have faith in God, because that's what people are going through. It's going through real life. And knowing God at the same time, because that's really what we're being called to do.
Exactly.
We are being called to live this thing called life and trust God to get us through it. Because let's be honest here, this thing called life, we were not designed to do it alone.
No.
Period.
And he knew we were not going to get it right the first time. That's grace.
Exactly. And even though the Greenleafs don't get it right, like Bishop said, we're like bowling pins. We got to keep getting up. We get knocked down. We got to keep getting up. We got to keep getting up. And that's what we got to do. So what we saw today was, it was amazing. It was great storytelling. It was great storytelling. I'm hurt and devastated. I can't.
Like my phone, Athena. Like, listen, my phone is blowing up. People, like, they know I'm sick. They know.
I just
know
got
I'm recording right now.
I just look. Don't call me. Don't mess with me. Just leave me alone right now because
I'm in mourning.
next
I'm in mourning.
next week I'm just Mavis is coming back next week.
You know what? I'm not even ready for next week. I want to talk about freaking
who you want to talk
for
you know what?
Getting his face handed to him.
But you know what?
It was too easy. It's
I'm like
a repercussion.
It was kind of too easy, and it did kind of happen swiftly. But let's shine a light on the Bob Whitmores of the world, where we have this old white man who is the con artist trying to better himself or basically get over and get his riches and his fortune by any means necessary, when we have a man who basically is preying on poor people, fleecing them, taking their land, taking, their homes, just building himself up, and then to kind of like make it seem like, oh, it's not so bad if I get a couple of Black people to help me do this. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? It's so, and a lot of times when we look at it, and this is so timely because what we are seeing going on in the world right now, with us being in quarantine, with COVID, with racial injustice, and when we think about minorities and how minorities have been treated by Caucasian people, it's this idea that minorities have been taken advantage of for so long. It's this idea that that there's so much power within not just Black people, but I think about Asians, I think about Hispanics, I think about people of all cultures, how because we are non-white, that we have had to suffer so much, but we are so valuable to this country. We're so valuable, and people tend to take advantage. And so when we find out that Bob Whitmore has been fleecing and taking advantage of Black people, you know what it brought to my mind? It brought to my mind Reconstruction. And how Black people were doing their own thing with their own businesses, making their money, having their own wealth. And, after slavery, I couldn't get my 40 acres and a mule because you knew that the land was valuable. So I couldn't get that, but I could get money. And then I could put my money into the Freedmen's Bank, which was ran by a white man who took millions, and in today's economy would be considered billions of dollars. And you took this money made by hard-earning Black people and gave it to your rich white friends because he had the power.
And have the know-how of investments.
Exactly.
And it's all about power and how you use it. And
exactly.
That's why even now, like you said, even now, there's this struggle, right?
Exactly.
Black people are good enough to work, be the manual laborers, be the thought process behind what's going on.
Oh, yes. Right.
To own. Wait a
minute. Right. So that's too much, because at the end of the day, and let's keep in mind, and what I tend to share with people is, look, Black people and minorities have been in this position before where things haven't gone our way with society or in social injustice, where we've always had to work hard. I said, minorities are constantly getting educated because that's what we've always been told. If we want to make it in this world, we got to get educated.
Yeah, because I can't take this right.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, I have to constantly get educated. I just can't have, I got to go to high school. I got to get my bachelor's. I got to get a master's. I got to stay educated in this game because I have to constantly prove myself that I am worthy. Right.
Which is why Black women are the highest educated group
Right.
America.
Because we have always been told that you have to be educated if you're going to make it in this world. Oh, and baby, you're a Black woman, so you're going to have to be 10 times as better as anybody else because you got to be
Yeah.
better. I mean, that's what we've always been told. And so it's, getting back to this situation where you have, Bob Whitmore taking advantage of poor people, for his own, building up of himself. But yes, it just really brought back, wow, this is something that is real and that happens. And once again, kudos to Craig Wright, creator of Greenleaf, who brings these situations and shines a light. And keep in mind, Craig Wright is a white man
He's
who
a
went to
white man.
theological school, who
Yeah.
is well versed. And so, yeah, it's like, wow, this stuff happens. It's very real. And, hey, Bob walked out the church smooth, like, okay, they're on to me,
And Stank Judy. Girl.
I was.
Oh, Father, help us with Judy. How, you know what? I have 2 points to make because I don't want to lose my thought. So the first thought was, yes, I was right. I am a part of a couple of Greenleaf groups on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
A really, really, really rude woman that I can't wait till I get to message her back on there. Because I made the prediction, this was a few weeks ago, that Phil DeMars' mother had some type of relationship or connection with Bill,
Mm-hmm.
Moore, and that that is why the father was so upset. Like I mean, it was like almost to the T. And so she was like, "Girl, bye." Like she was just real rude. And we see now the direct correlation between Phil DeMars' mom and Bob Whitmore. And when Judy threw his mama's ring.
See, dude, I almost would have girl, man, I'm just happy her daddy came and scooped her up because, girl.
Because she had one more time.
No.
Oh, wait. And can we, girl, I was almost in tears. Can we say hooray for Charity for standing up for herself for one time?
Woo! Thank you. Because I had some concerns there. I had some concerns.
I was
like,
worried.
I was like, girl, if you take this fool back, I'm going to come through this screen. I'm going to break this fourth wall. You better not. But she said, not even the father of my child has broke my heart the way you have. No. I said, thank you, girl.
Because not
Applause.
only, like, okay, an indiscretion or whatever, we could get past that. But, brother, you sold my whole family out.
Oh, yeah.
Not only did you sell my whole family out, you humiliated me in front of the board.
Yep.
You talked to me any kind of way in front of this spineless heifer.
Girl.
And then
Judy.
audacity to ask me for the ring back? Oh, no.
But then, and I'm glad she remembered that because we remember. I wanted to make sure that she remembered. It's like, do you remember? I'm glad you remembered because on top of all that, yeah, Charity played a part in her own demise.
Mm-hmm.
She did, because she made some choices and she was hoping that they were going to pan out a certain way, and they didn't. But when she realized, you know what, this AP ain't what I thought it was, and this brother came up here and he told me he gonna marry me, but now he gonna kick me to the curb because he think he gonna be pastor. What? And
and it still didn't work out for him.
Wow. See, like I told you, Ashley, I told you, everybody was taking a chance on doing things their own way. Now, keep in mind, when we look at the Greenleafs, when we look at Bishop, May, when we look at Carissa, when we look at Charity, Jacob, and Grace, they all had this certain way of wanting to do things and how they wanted to fix whatever the situation was. And it really wasn't God's way. They had to get to a point where they couldn't do anything but really let go and let God. And that is the truth. They had did everything. And to be completely honest with you, yeah, Bishop did a couple of tricks, but even when he came to this realization, and both him and May kind of came to this realization in day one, where, hey, we messed up. The plan now is for us to grow. And on that day, they were done with Calvary, but they were done in a sense of, we made some mistakes, and if we're going to do this and do this right,
we got to do it right.
We got to start over from scratch. And they moved forward in really trying to just get it right. And Grace had to figure those things out herself. It's, I can't fix these things. There are going to be some things that we really have to lay down at the altar and say, okay, God, I'm going to try not to pick this thing up, but you told me to leave it here. So, okay, God, you struggle with that. It's a struggle. You try to leave stuff at the altar and you be like, okay, God, I'm not going to pick that up.
But I'm over there looking now, God, and it didn't really move.
Ooh, God is still at the altar. Why? You know, I'm just saying. God is still at the altar. And so that's what they had to do.
Athena, so.
Yes, girl.
It's just so much. Okay. I didn't get to really, we haven't talked about any of this. Athena,
yes.
I would have bet probably a good couple $100 that Darius was dead. And
girl
showed up like,
hey, I'm so happy your brother is good, because I thought he was gone too.
I said, oh, Rick Fox, thank you.
I said, oh, he's alive.
Woo! What was the whole point? Like, were they just trying to
you know what? But you know what? You know what? They saved Darius to kill Bishop, and I'm mad they should have killed him.
that was not a fair sacrifice.
they killed Bishop. They saved Darius.
They saved the
Bishop.
Wrong one.
They saved the wrong dude, because I needed my Bishop lady ready.
Listen, he could have easily been the sacrificial lamb, and I would have been like, Darius was cool, but
thank you. Hey, Darius dead. Oh, he is. Oh, okay.
Dang, light skin. Oh man.
Darius, dang. All right. Bishop gone. Lord, my God.
Totally. And so we also, I want to give we always end up giving one of the characters the cold piece award, pretty much. The cold piece award for this episode goes to Zora Greenleaf.
Zora!
Because when homegirl went and talked to her mama, and Sophia said about the pictures, and Greg said, what pictures?
What pictures?
Oh, Zora.
Dude,
that was
and
so
you know
petty.
what was crazy? When Zora, when she said, Mom, about the pictures, I said, how much you want to bet Grace is going to say? What pictures?
Girl, I didn't even, it wasn't even a thought.
I just had a feeling that she was going to say, what pictures?
Yeah. I am sick for Jacob. What is Jacob going to do without his daddy?
Well, to be completely honest with you, I think they're going to be fine. And I say that to say this because Jacob, in his growth of looking up to his dad, and then when all this stuff starts to unearth, Jacob starts looking at his dad sideways, like, you a man of God. What you mean? You burning up churches and getting insurance money, and
you've held us to this standard.
You held us to the standard, and Uncle Mac is doing this, that, and the third, and you and Mom, it's, he had, because he always, I think Jacob in his mind. Jacob had some things that he wanted to do, and he didn't get a chance to do those things due to whatever the circumstances were. And let's keep in mind, I think Lady May really was pushing Jacob to be a pastor because she didn't want to see Grace get that, due to her issues that she had with Grace. So she was pushing Jacob in that position. And that really didn't pan out. And yeah, Jacob was a pastor, but let us understand that Jacob's, if you notice how all three of them have their own unique way of what they believe ministry is, which I think is wonderful. Jacob wants to be out in the street. He wants to be with the people. He's not into, oh, I got to keep this high society prep look. He's not into that. He's not into that. He's like, I want to be with the people. He has that spirit of, I want to be there for the person who needs a voice, who needs help. Charity is a person who wants to comfort, who wants to heal, who has this voice, who has these things. And Grace is this uniter, this encourager. And Lady May has always kind of been this inner leader, but she didn't have that opportunity to really kind of go for that, because she decided to marry this bishop, because she decided to get married and not pursue that. So I think that they're going to be fine. I think Bishop has taught them so much. And in these 4 seasons, he has poured into each one of them in some way, where he has told Charity, you're going to figure it out. Don't worry about it. You just got to trust God. He even told Charity, baby, preaching is not for you. It's a calling. She didn't want to hear it, but he told her, he said,
not your ministry.
He told her that, and even though, and he even told Jacob, and he told Jacob in such a way through Lady May, which was, May, we never figured out what this boy can actually do, because we've been trying to control everything that he did. We got to let this boy fall and figure it out.
And I don't know. I think that I'm just still very, I just feel kind of lost without Bishop.
It's a loss, but you know what?
I'm not ready to even.
No, we were not ready. Just like we weren't ready when he had that. And see, I'm mad because they let us experience him almost dying when he had that heart attack.
And then the thought of the dementia, I thought we were going to see some type of decline.
No, our bishop has
struggle through that.
They let our bishop have a stroke,
but a timely stroke, because he did not suffer long. If you watch, it was very subtle. This episode, him saying, "Oh yeah, you're here for the car." Like, God, we didn't want to see him decline that way.
No.
I did not want to see Bishop leave here.
First of all, they could have had Bishop just come on to the 8th day and give me my Flag Day wedding, and they could have just ended the show, and I would have been happy, joy, because I would have gotten my Flag Day wedding. But hey, and even we know that on the 7th day, God rested. So,
and he rested Bishop.
He rested Bishop. And yes, I'm devastated.
Everlasting rest in the arms.
Because what is May going to do?
May is going to step up. She's going to be the head of whatever church
she's gonna move forward. And I know she's hurt and she's devastated, but just like within that 7-day period, and even with the 4th season, they're coming together, their friendship, them trusting one another, her coming clean with him coming clean with her, them just really being real with each other in such a way. And then what she needed to hear from him,
she did,
was that she wanted him to appreciate and to validate her being a preacher. That's what she really, really,
And
really
she got
wanted.
that from him.
And she got that from him. And that's what she wanted more than anything. Because after 40 years of marriage and 4 kids and being first lady, that's all she did. Her job was what was her job? Making sure the trains run on time. And that's what she did. She protected him. She sheltered him. She kept him safe. She cleaned up his messes. She made sure, hey, the bishop is good. I'm going to do whatever I can to protect him, because protecting him protects me, keeps me in this big house with my Tiffany Chanel and my Jaguar. But that's just half of it. They truly had a love that was real, and they had a real friendship, and she needed him, and she really wanted him to validate her, and he did that.
Well, Rochelle wanted to be validated too.
You know what? Let's get on that heifer. We didn't get on that heifer, but you know what? And this is one thing about Greenleaf. I love the show, but you want to give redemption to everybody.
Yeah.
We gonna give redemption to this heifer too? Are you kidding me?
She had to, because it truly, girl, even though it was some shiesty stuff going on.
Shiesty, girl.
I had to put myself in Rochelle's shoes for a minute.
Oh,
they killed her daddy. Now their feelings and their resentment, it was directed kind of in the wrong direction.
Kinda.
Yeah, I mean, because all they could see, think about it. You weren't there. Your daddy is killed. This family sweeps in and takes everything that was supposed to go to him.
Okay. I'm gonna let you finish, and I'm gonna get on. No, I'm gonna let you finish because I'm following you. You right.
Okay, and so now you feel like, oh, you know what? Can't none of them be trusted. Come on now, Panama City. What one family member do something to your family member, and all the elders is like, oh, you know that good over there.
You right.
They come from over there across the track.
But let us look at Miss Cross for who she is. Let us look at Miss Cross. Mm-hmm. Thank you. And let us understand that we know that she did some shadiness like this at another church before she started to creep up on Bishop. Okay. I mean, I'm gonna take you back a couple of seasons when word on the street was, oh, you know, she was at, what was the church name of the church? Greater Redeemer, and she did some mess like that, which put May on the antenna on, oh, this heifer is not about to do that over here.
And she ain't about to take my husband.
Is she crazy?
Yeah.
But my problem with Rochelle is this. I get it. You're angry, you're upset, and yes, this happened. But I guess the thing that was always a little bothersome to me was you're hearing this story of what happened to your father, but you guys don't even have the entire story
at all.
That right there is the bothersome thing, that you are so driven by your feelings and your emotions. Mm-hmm. And yes, they are valid, but we are not even really sure of the whole circumstance.
Athena, that's so realistic though. How often do we have all the details and we still mad?
You're right. See, you're absolutely right. And see, and I feel like in so many ways, we need to continue to ask those questions and have those clarifying moments, because you get to hear. I mean, imagine how Rochelle feels when you walk up in the house and May tells you that, oh, by the way, we think that Miss Davis is your grandmama. Their jaws dropped because they didn't even know, but you got to hear it from her, because they the only ones asking the questions, because they already told you that they didn't know your daddy was in that fire, and that crazy behind Mac, who is dead in the grave, set this mess up, and that we're the victims just like you, because we didn't know. So I'm mad at you, Rochelle, for being in everybody's business and doing a background check that you
But
failed to
your
do
own.
exactly, that you failed to do a background check on your daddy to find out that your grandmama was white. I'm mad about that.
With light skin, basic skins, I get
Thank you.
it
Oh,
because he never showed
and
up.
Basie is dead. Thank God. I told you he was dead. I told you Tasha was telling the truth. I told you.
Gosh.
Yes, I'm mad about that. So yeah, you want to see Bishop low and brought down, and you never wanted the house, but you, the thing that you want to hear may not be the thing that you get,
Because
because
it's not real.
it's not real. You know, and the person you really looking for, who is Mac McGrady, who is already dead.
Yeah.
And you need to be thanking grace for that. Hallelujah. Grace has set us free. In Jesus' name.
She's the
Yes.
Moses. She's the
Thank
Moses
you.
here. Yeah.
And that, you know, and I'm just like, we having redemption for freaking Rochelle.
Yeah.
Somebody point her in the direction of the cross. I really wanted Bishop to open up the doors of the church and for her to walk down the aisle and accept salvation. That's what I really wanted that heifer to do.
No, but I think Bishop was minding his business. He was searching for redemption for himself, and I think that was the best thing he could have did. So
that's all he wanted to do. Bishop just wanted to get it right with God, get it right with May, get it right with his family. He just wanted to get as right as possible as he could. And this has really been a story about him in so many ways. When you look through the course of these seasons, this was a man who shepherded church and did everything in his power. You trust the wrong people, we get caught up. There were a lot of pitfalls, and even in all of these pitfalls, and that's another beautiful thing, in all of these moments where they were in the valley, they were able to grow and have these mountaintop experiences, because it's in the valley that we grow, because it's the water that flows down from the mountain into the valley that feeds the cattle, that feeds the earth, that we're able to grow in the valley in order to climb and have those mountaintop experiences. They had to grow in all those valleys. They had to grow.
Ushers, please come forth with the collection plate.
They had to grow. Our Greenleaf family has grown.
We need to pass the plate because you have.
I'm telling you, this is a valley for May, but in so many ways she has grown, and she will grow from this experience. And Bishop, he knew it was over a long time ago.
He did.
He was just trying his best.
He was fighting it so much. He kept saying, "No, man." You could tell by he was really struggling with his own sense of guilt. Because you know, he when he got up there, he was saying, you know, I let the little sins go. I overlooked the little sins, and I said, "Oh, that's good. That's good." You know?
Right. He just, you know,
he couldn't overlook it anymore.
Right. He couldn't overlook it anymore. And like I said, this season, it's been a whole lot of telling the truth and just being real and just saying,
and
hey,
living with the truth, though,
and owning it, living it, and moving forward. Hey, just like what it may say last week. Oh, Grace is the product of an affair I had with Lionel Jeffries. Oh, and by the way, dinner's at 7:30. What? Thank you. I said, this heifer right here, I said, this is why I love Lynn Whitfield, because I don't know too many people who would have been able to deliver that, tell you dinner's at 7:30, and hit the dough.
But wait, she still, let me tell you about Lady Mae. Lady Mae still was not going to allow Carissa to have the show. This was Carissa's, girl, this was supposed to be her boom, I'm leaving. This is the scene. We're walking.
Dude.
May said, hold on, I got a little bit. I got stuff.
May said, first of all, May threw up them deuces in the corner like, bye,
I'll
heifer.
holler.
Her and James both
The
said,
said entertainer, I'll holler.
It's been real. Too real.
You got to go. And it was so refreshing, that last episode, to see Jacob and Grace and Charity sit down and actually look like siblings. Yeah, they were partaking in some libations, but at the end of the day,
girl, you needed some drinks after that.
Even Jesus would have turned some water into wine for them to have, because
you needed some beverages,
girl. But it was so refreshing to see them that way. So, next episode,
girl.
I think.
Well, I think it's the church is not being torn down. I really think
funeralized Bishop.
And I think they're gonna be okay. It's gonna hurt, but
it's not. I don't think it's gonna be anticlimactic though. I feel like there's still some revelations to be had.
Yeah, I agree. Now, if Bishop is not dead, I'm gonna be shocked.
Girl, Bishop is out of here.
I think he's gone too. But hey, we all thought AJ was dead in the first episode when he cut his wrist. Now,
girl, I knew he wasn't dead. That's y'all.
Dude, no, listen. I knew he wasn't dead either. But
yeah,
I don't know. Is Bishop gone?
He out.
Well,
he is out.
But I don't know, Ashley.
Oh my gosh.
Listen. I think Bishop is dead. I think Bishop is gone because I think he has completed the course. Bishop is gone.
Job well done. Good and faithful servant.
You know, I think Bishop is gone. But I cannot help but to remember how they threw us this curveball before in season 3 when he had that heart attack and we thought, but the way they played that off was, he had his little heart attack. You know, he thought he was gonna die. He wasn't dead.
He's gone.
I think Bishop is gone.
I mean, he ain't Jesus. They better not keep resurrecting now.
Okay, so what are you gonna do if we see Bishop on day 8? If they call the hospital, Bishop comes and he's fine.
I'm not gonna trip. I'm not gonna tell you that I'm not gonna be happy. Like, I'm gonna be like, hey, welcome back. What I don't, that it would just make this show even more fictitious.
Yeah. I don't think he's coming back.
I don't see it happening.
No.
I know that this last episode is going to give us some insight as to what the spinoff is going to be about. I feel like it may possibly include Lady Mae running a church, because I don't really see where Grace can take this. I am. Oh.
Well, I think Mavis is coming back, because I really think.
What is Mavis? What is she gonna do?
Well, I think there just has to be some healing there between her and her sister. And James is dead, and so technically, that's the only reason why Mavis would really come back, is if James is dead, she's gonna be at the funeral. I mean, they're all close, so and I think at the end of the day, it would be interesting for when I tell you that these two sisters need to really heal in such a way that they can get on a track of moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because Mavis has no idea that their father was molesting May. And, you know, you hear Mavis crying foul because it's like, mama was beating me and you didn't do anything about it at the same time. And And all Mavis sees is you and Daddy were going to these trips to Nashville, but Mavis, you have no clue what was going on in Nashville. And these were, you know, you talk about these new dresses, or yeah, but your sister was your father's concubine, and you didn't know. And so we're talking about two people who went through this situation, who saw it from totally two different perspectives. And that's why Mac, you can understand how sad and sick and twisted Mac was, because you have these three siblings growing up in this household where you have two sisters who are being victimized, but then you have this brother who he too is a victim for witnessing all of this stuff, and
Capitalizing.
right, and he has no idea how to filter it. He has no idea how to
Right.
how to deal with this. No one is calling for help. No one is doing any of these things, because the people that we trust to raise us, which are our parents, are doing these things to us. So in a way, I feel sad for the little boy, Mac, who witnessed his sister being molested by his father, who witnessed his other sister being beat by his mom, who was probably in so many ways caught up in the middle of this this situation and didn't know what to do. And these are kids who are growing up like this, and then they become adults, and you question the decisions that these adults make because they didn't have the tools to heal these situations. Yeah, they grew up and life got better, but did they
But
really
their
heal from
childhood
those
traumas
situations?
were
That
never
trauma sticks with you,
resolved.
right? So hey, they humanized Mac, because you can look at Mac and say he was a jacked up brother who needed help, period. And we hate him, but
Yeah.
he's human, and he's
He's
a
a
victim.
product of his childhood.
Right, he's a victim,
And
and he's a
he had
product of,
no, I
right.
mean, where would he, yes, when you read the Bible, you can infer right and wrong, but he was living in a home where he never, he never, he didn't have a chance. He didn't have a chance.
Right, he didn't have a chance. And I'm sure uh when his sisters got opportunity to flee,
They did. And
because
left him in that.
if you notice, the only person who was still holding on to a parent was Mac. May and Mavis didn't have nothing to do with their daddy. Nothing. It was like, daddy, whatever.
But see, that's all Mac had.
Exactly.
Because I don't know, did Mac ever marry?
Mm-mm.
They never made mention of him having a wife.
Hey, right. And it could have been because that's interesting, because when you look at Mac, the guy who's, he's living this double life, so to speak. Um, he never married, but he just had all of this stuff going on, and of course, him and Mavis were never close, but I like to think that all three of them were close once upon a
At some
time,
point.
and then things just went left, and they went left all of a sudden,
Yeah.
and the three of them never came back together. That's what I like to think. They were close to a certain point, and when things got abusive, that's when things went crazy, and a family destroyed. And then him and May, I mean, May has always kind of, yeah, she trusted Mac, but I don't think she trusted him. I think she trusted him. She trusted him, and she believed in him, but she always questioned some things that he did. And she always kind of, because, like, for instance, when the IRS showed up, she's like, I asked you if this money was tax free before I went out and bought these cars and you said it was. Because she was,
Yeah.
she's like, I asked you and you said it was good and now it's not.
Yeah. So
So
what's up? Yeah.
yeah, so what's up with that? So she was always, I think that May probably looked at Mac hanging around was his way of, I should have helped you when you were younger and I didn't. And I
Yeah.
want to make it up to you.
And so
You
she
can
was
trust
kind of
me.
taken
Right.
taken aback when she
So
found
she was
out.
kind of like, okay, Mac, because she knew that Mac knew what was going on. And this was his way of, May, I'm going to protect you now. I'm going to be there for you. And she was giving him side eye by saying, okay.
That was
What's
the
up?
worst mistake she ever could have.
Right. But it's amazing hearing her side of the story of being a broken woman and not wanting to see anybody else be broken, not
But
wanting to believe it happened to anybody else.
being here for the whole thing and going back,
Mm-hmm.
seeing how May has always kind of gave Bishop hell about his decisions
Always.
is, Bishop Mac truly has been the Achilles heel of
Oh yeah.
even for her husband. And so it's kind of like, May, your family was the demise of your family. You know what I
Right.
mean? Bishop had his ways about him.
Mm-hmm.
He did allow Mac to jade his
He did.
yeah.
Because, and what's interesting is now that we kind of know when Bishop was able to have these last few moments of clarity,
Mm-hmm.
when when it is brought to his attention that, oh my God, so what you're telling me is Miss Davis is Gerald James's mom. And so that's why Mac brought me out to the house, because he said she had no children. She didn't have this. Mac is telling this elaborate story. And so Bishop is like, I'm just going to help a old lady out. He had no clue. And so, but James had already died in the fire because they had already gotten the insurance money to get the church. But see, now this woman whose son has died in that same fire where you just collected your insurance money is about to give you your house because she's still grieving her son being dead.
Did Daryl know that was his mom, you think?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
Because the caretaker says, oh, I know the relation. That was her son.
He wrecked me. He was the worst.
Girl, we talking about a different time. Let it go.
Well, I don't know how different the time was now, but so we're gonna be interested to see what next week brings. I am tired. I am emotionally drained.
I am devastated. I
This
still hurt.
whole season has
But
just been poking a
girl,
hole in a
I
tire.
just I'm just like I just want to see what everybody is saying
Oh, I can't
about.
wait. I cannot wait.
Let's see. Did anybody say anything? Bishop gone. I don't even want to talk about it.
It is.
I'm just
This is like next level to me.
like, what just happened here? Yes, I'm still talking to Ashley.
So we are definitely gonna be on the lookout for what next week brings. We offer to you to leave a comment in the comments below, subscribe, share, and we are definitely we're gonna have to just go ahead and connect the IV so that we cannot be toe up like this because I'm
Girl, I'm hurt because, dude, if May was not getting pretty, because,
See how she
dude, first of all, it's been a whole 2 whole seasons since Lay has had lingerie on before she went to bed. Let's remember that, because when Rochelle entered in the building,
it was the
oh,
rap.
Bishop was kicked out the bedroom. It was no lingerie. She was wearing them long silk pajamas. Tonight was, I got on my good lingerie.
Tonight is the night
Yes, I got my hair
that
done.
you
I'm
make
putting a
me your
little extra
woman.
perfume on. I'm getting ready because, girl, I am all the way free.
Oh, and she will
And
never be with her husband again.
I mean, they've been sleeping together. I think we
No, but
think
I
they've been.
mean, but you
It
know,
it hurts. It hurts. I'm hurt. I am hurt at how they did this. I'm so hurt. But I'm trying to find the beauty in it all.
last thought. She
Yes.
called for grace.
Yeah, she called for
She
grace. She said
called
grace.
for
She didn't offer
charity.
nobody else.
She didn't call for Jacob.
She called for grace.
Marisol. She
She said Bishop said he needed a pen because he was having a stroke. She gave him a pen. She picked up the phone. She called 911, and she held him to the end.
I'm done. All right, guys.
It hurt. It hurts, y'all. I mean,
We
like,
out. We gotta be
woo!
out. There is nothing else. I have nothing. I have nothing.
Let's go, Ashley. We gotta go. We gotta go.
All right, y'all. We'll see y'all next week.
Peace.